So, okay. As you know, so much can happen in a year, and some things won't have gone to plan, and a lot of those things are out of our control. Life will not always be easy or perfect, but some real reflection can really help us see where we want to start going with our lives. And that might seem like a sentence that shouldn't come in if we're over halfway, but there's always time to put focus and good intention into where we're taking ourselves. And it can be good for us to reflect today when we spend a bit of time together and meditating together, working out what did go right, so reflecting on the things that did go well. And it can just help us see where we want to start taking our energy rather than setting New Year's resolutions, so setting intentions, and that could be, and I'll give you some examples later of, moving with more ease, being less judgmental, trying not to have expectations. So we're all very good at attaching only to the negative but not the positive. So some good time meditating and taking a moment to pause can really help us enhance more positive emotions within us. So there's this really interesting, I guess you can call it a saying or a quote that I've heard a couple of times, but if we are what we think and believe, then our attitude and purpose behind what we do and how we live matters. So if you understand the word manifest and manifesting, then that might ring more sense to you. Perhaps that doesn't mean anything to you, but for some of you, if it does, then it's something important to think about. So intention setting is so much more powerful than easily breakable goals and New Year's resolutions. So, for example, I've set myself up to fail on a number of occasions with really unreasonable and pressurising goals. And it's actually made the journey to trying to reach them not very enjoyable at all. So a goal doesn't always have, or a resolution doesn't always have a lot of wiggle room. An intention sets the more general direction for our day, our journey, our year, or however long you want to use this intention for. And it has plenty of wiggle room. And it's why I guess us yogis use them. If you go to yoga classes a lot, quite often you're reminded to set an intention at the start of your class. So when the intention is light and it's not rigid, and the word rigid is really key here, it's much, much easier to stick to. And the new year is a great chance for us to think about where we're heading and how we're living, and to see if things need to change and decide to do better, I guess. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move into a meditation. So make sure you're nice and comfortable, lying down or seated, entirely up to you. If you are able to sit seated comfortably, then I would encourage that if you can. So we're just going to spend a few minutes just grounding, coming into the present moment with our breath. So I want you to close down your eyes and just let your hands rest gently in your lap. Let the arms be really heavy. Slight lift through the heart to open into the chest. If that doesn't feel comfortable, then lean against a wall. Or if you're lying down, you're just going to have the arms next to you. Palms face up if you can. It just encourages a more open chest. And just take a moment to feel all of your bones connecting to the earth. Feel the weight of them. And if you're seated, bring your awareness to your sit bones and the crown of your head, and just take a moment just to feel the connection between both, and see if you can create a little bit more space between both. And if you're lying down, as you gently breathe, just really feel this spaciousness and lightness on the front body. Just soften everything now, including your breath. Take a moment here to to just notice what you're thinking about. And know that a busy mind is more normal than unusual these days. Quite often there's those constant mental to-do lists. This need to be everywhere that we're not. But the unfortunate thing is that when we think in this way, quite often we can end up missing things in the moment. Missing words that could mean something quite profound. Or noticing something that's really beautiful. So just be with that for a moment. It doesn't mean necessarily that thought will bring you straight into this moment, but it's nice to remind ourselves of what could be when we are. And if the mind wanders off again from my voice, from our intentions of just being and breathing right now, take a deep breath and bring all your awareness back to your breath. A simple technique just to bring yourself back. And then maybe the mind has wandered off again. So bring it back with another conscious breath. And this time really try and stay with the sensations of breathing. This inflation and deflation of internal organs as you inhale and exhale. This gentle rise and fall of the belly as you inhale and exhale. This gentle expansion of the chest as you inhale and exhale. And the wonderful thing about our breath is that it's unique to us. You can follow its full cycle with your full awareness and even visualize its little journey as it comes in, circulates around the body and travels back out. And you can feel that gentle breeze sensation at the end of your nostrils as you feel it riding in and rolling out. And then you notice that you are here, fully in this moment, fully with your breath, fully in your body. The mind might perhaps still be thinking about something else, but this is a great opportunity to remind ourselves that we are not our thoughts. We are this breath, this being. So just continue to breathe. Continue to be. And really start to feel nice and grounded, connected to whatever it is that makes you feel happy, feel safe and connected. Just continue to inhale and exhale. And count 5 more full breath cycles to yourself in your mind. if you're happy where you are and you found peace with your posture, stay exactly where you are. Just release the counting and just relax everything. If there are body parts that are perhaps demanding a little bit of attention, then just really slowly and mindfully move the body, stretch it out, and gently bring yourself back. And ignore the little meowing cat. He's a bit chatty today. Okay. So keeping the eyes closed down, we'll now begin our intention setting. So before we do that, I'm going to ask you some questions. I'm purposely not going to give you a lot of time to think about your answers, because I want you to just feel into the first feeling or emotion that pops into your body and your mind. And then I'll move on. And what these questions will do is they'll just help you reflect and think about the last year or all your years to this day. Some questions might feel a little bit too deep, and there's no need to answer those now. I will share them with you after the session. So let's all take a deep breath. Take the deepest inhale you've taken today, and then open your mouth. Have a little sigh out. Take 2 more like this, inhaling, really feeling the expansion. To release. Take 1 more until you're ready to resume a really natural breath rhythm again. Okay. So, here are some thought starters to help you get started in forming your intention, which will happen a bit more naturally after I've finished asking these questions. But take a moment to think about what matters most to you. What would you like to build, create, or nurture in your life? What would you perhaps like to let go of? Who would you like to forgive? Or perhaps not, but should? How do you feel when you're your happiest self? What makes you proud? What words would you like to align yourself with? What fears would you like to release? And lastly, what are you grateful for? Now I'm going to list some intentions that I have set in the past, or perhaps suggestions that you can borrow if something's not coming to mind. But just to be clear, an intention is something quite simple. It's an act, and you really want to generate this intention from your heart, not your head. And remind yourself what you're wanting from life at the moment to make it feel more at ease and practice more of. Not for anyone or anything, but you. And then naturally, once we form an intention, all of those things that we hope to do but didn't might just happen a little bit more easily. So here are 10 intentions you can borrow. You can pick one, or perhaps you have your own that's not listed here. But keep your eyes closed down, take a deep inhale into your heart space and relax. Perhaps your intention is to find balance, or to open your mind and heart. It could be as simple as the word peace, or to stay steady, calm and focused. Maybe it's act with courage, or embrace change. To give and receive more love. Or maybe to allow yourself to be vulnerable. It could be to connect with others, or just simply the word love. See what sits with you, see what's stuck. Like I said, perhaps it's not listed there. But take another deep inhale into your heart space and repeat the intention that you have chosen, or perhaps it's two, to yourself. Repeating it over and over again, slowly, meaningfully. And we're going to continue to repeat this like a silent mantra to ourselves for a minute until I tell you to stop. If you feel silly or distracted, just come back to this act of being, thinking about the possibilities. If this repetition worked for you, which it can. So continue to repeat. Feel it more and more each time. Mean it more each time. And repeat it 5 more times. With your breath. And after your 5th time, release all efforts of mind, focus, just for a moment. And for the last few minutes of today's session, keep your eyes closed down and really take a moment now to feel the emotions that your intention will serve you. What if you moved forwards with this intention? What if? Perhaps you're thinking about scenarios, or simply just the emotions that you would feel, which is powerful enough. So feel those emotions now. Take yourself to those emotions. Notice how the body reacts positively. The breath calms. The mind softens. We have 1 more minute left here. You can either continue to stay with these emotions or just allow yourself to drop all efforts. Just be still and quiet with your breath. Very slowly, just start to take a couple of deeper breaths. Start to bring a bit of life back into the body. Start to wiggle your toes. Stretch out your hands. Slowly draw the chin towards the chest. And then gently blink open your eyes, lifting the head back up. Taking a moment to have a look around the room, your surroundings, colours, shapes, before returning your visual gaze back to the screen. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in.